Hey everyone. Oh my god. Yo, what the hell? Hype train level 2 right out the gate. Jeez, thanks everybody. How we doing today? Shit. Oh my gosh. Who do we got? Jesus, Lizzie, Azeroth, GT Galley, Connor, thank you so much for the subs. Y'all, jeez, Connor, 20 months. That's fucking, that's crazy. Lizzie's got 16. Oh my gosh. What is up, y'all? Holy fuck! Azeroth! Is that 20, 15? I can't even count that many. 20 gifted subs. Holy jeez. Holy crap. Yo. Who managed to dodge it on that one? Nobody. That's who. Holy crap. Thank you so much, Azeroth. That is crazy. For those of you who don't know, also, how's the volume, by the way? Can you guys hear me? Azeroth is one of the OG Requiem devs. My gosh. Bro, thank you so much. That really means the world. Hell yeah. Good levels. Anyone guess the music? It's actually, well, if you want to guess, I guess, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds. It's a jam, right? It's actually the same game as last time. I guess that was 2 weeks ago. This is, Power Rangers, SNES. Yep, you got it, Lizzie. It is, in fact, actually, you know what? Here, give me 2 seconds. I probably have it up on the thing. Power Rangers. Ow. There it is. This one. I think there's 2 for SNES. There's this guy, which is what it's from. And then I believe there's like a beat 'em up for SNES. It's like a Power Rangers game. That's my flex. So, what is up, y'all? Thank you for joining me here on this hopefully beautiful Friday. Today, I'm going to be talking about just what I've been working on. Yeah, Power Rangers stream, of course. I used to be so into Power Rangers. I think a lot of kids in the 90s, that was the case. Where's my... Haha. Turn this down just for myself. Yo, thank you for the subs, CP. My gosh, thank you everyone for the subs. What's up, Twiz? So, I have been working for... Thank you guys for your patience, by the way, for last week. Thanks for giving me the time off. I appreciate it. So I've been working on a few different things, but primarily the bug fixing patch. So I wanted to talk with you guys about that today. I'll kind of show you where we're at, excuse me. And also I wanted to let y'all know that I am going to be pushing for partner on Twitch. The reason for that is that I have a lot of dev work to do. And I was kind of like, well, so right now, for those of you who don't know how partner works on Twitch, to get the requirements for it, or I should say the requirements for it are... You need a certain average number of viewers. It's like 75 or something like that. That we have, generally speaking. The time requirements are like, you need to stream something like 25 different hours across, I think, 12 different days. So I figured if I'm just going to, you know, have my nose to the grindstone with development, I might as well stream it. Hopefully people will be willing to kind of, you know, come hang out. I know it's a little bit different than the gameplay streams. But to be honest with you guys, I don't think the gameplay streams are my best gameplay anyway. Frankly, I'm not that good at the game at the best of times, but I do a much better job if I'm offline doing the Let's Plays. So I think I'm going to reserve the Let's Plays or the gameplay for the Let's Plays and then just have these streams be a development, at least for the immediate future. There's a lot of stuff to show off, to be honest with you, and anyone who's interested in kind of seeing how it works behind the scenes, I suppose, can join me for that. That's probably what I'm going to do today. Maybe a little bit of gameplay, just because we occasionally have to hop in-game to test what we've been fixing. But yeah, that's kind of the intro. Hoping for more dev streams. Well, that's perfect then, Jesus. I just figure it's like the most sustainable thing, and the work that I need to do is development. So if I'm going to be pushing for partner, I'll throw hashtags on everything. Hashtag push for partner. I feel like people generally know what that means here on Twitch. HP Smart. Oh, did you guys see that? Or do you not see Windows user account control? Yeah, thank you everyone for the subs. Congrats on the big release. How's the feedback been? The feedback has honestly been overwhelming. It seems like people really like it a lot. Not everyone has had the perfectly smooth experience that I'm aiming for, which is why we've been working so hard on the bug fixing. But frankly, all things considered, I'm really happy with where it's at. I think that the vast majority of users have not had any issues, or the issues that they have had have not been super impactful on their experience. And every day I feel like I see a new post in the Discord thank you channel, just some, you know, very kind long thing that someone has written to explain they've been having a good time, which is very, my gosh, it is really awesome to see, because God knows that I worried about it. 5,000 downloads, 450 bug reports. Oh, interesting. I think we have more than that, Lizzie. I was looking on well, like, it's tough to say, like the stats from Wabbajack, because some of them could be the same person downloading more than once. Why does every NPC have broken hair? That shouldn't be. I have not seen this. Is this something you reported, Olivier? Like clipping, although I've been having a ball. I would have to see. I don't think that's been reported. Immersive. Oh, yeah, immersive equipment display. So it's really cool. I mean, if you have an issue, I would recommend reporting it, and then we can take a look at it. Immersive equipment display is basically like the new hotness version of All Good, right? If I'm not mistaken. It would be nice to use that instead. I mean, All Good is awesome. It does require a fair amount of patching, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Excuse me. So, if I... Do you know which... Do you happen to know, like, a single NPC? Confirmed, Olivier, because I can check them out. I can play Serenity with very little lag, but I have to play Wildlander on Potato. Are you playing with the shaders, drifters? I mean, the ENB. I mean, I think it's pretty performant, if I'm honest. Purple hair and white eyes. That would be missing textures. That means that the NPC patcher is not pulling textures the way it needs to. Yeah, I'm sorry about that lockpicking issue. That is actually an issue that I was just trying to fix, but for a different thing. The play potato. Well, the biggest performance, if you guys are having issues with performance, it's likely the ENB. The ENB is pretty intense. Purple hair like the one in Mark Hearth. Huh. Okay, well, I'll have to look at that. Shaders and Ultra. Yeah, the Ultra shaders are really intense. Well, anyway, I'm weary. Well, so purple hair, that one I can pretty easily fix. The question of people, what did that say? Broken hair like clipping. Clipping is interesting. Are interiors meant to be so bright and lights so white? It is hard for me to say, Olivier. I don't think interiors are that bright, aren't they? Oh, clipping with cloaks. So, I mean, that could be. But if it's hair clipping, that's like a whole other shebang. Right here, let me show you guys where we're at on the Jira. Yeah, if you have any issues, all buildings are really bright. That's odd. Maybe compared to Legendary Edition. Are you comparing it to Ultimate Skyrim, or you just mean like in general? Because the interiors in Ultimate Skyrim were super, super dark. Houses and taverns are bright. Interesting. Here, I'll hop in game. We can take a look at some of these things. No, not Ultimate Skyrim. Let me... Here, let's do this. How is clothing, crafting, and perks supposed to work? There are some like the wolf skin cloaks are pretty thin, but there's like another cloak mod here. I'll show you. Hold on. Skyrim. What is it called? Is it just not Cloaks of Skyrim? That's I've gotten rid of. What's the one that has the super cool fuzzy cloaks? Huh. Well, at the very least, oh, not Winter's Coming. Winter's Coming we actually use already. There's a different one. There's like it has actual. Oh, I remember what it's called. There it is. So these are a little bit thinner. These are very likely going to be out. This is the physics version. Yo, Connor, my gosh, thank you for 5 gifted subs. Also, Noxon, thanks for 100 bits. Urban Cake, thanks for the sub. Let me see here. Images. This is not the OG mod. No. Okay, hold on. I'm pretty sure this is it. Come on. Is that... What the hell? Patches. Maybe this is not it. Maybe this has what I'm talking... Cloaks and Capes. That's it. Okay. This is the one that I was looking for. These. So I guess they're not exactly thinner, but they're cool. They're fuzzy, not physics. God, my brain's getting... My wires are crossed. These, Physics, probably not. Physics are one of those things that you have to kind of do on your own. Yo, thank you for the subs. Not a fan of those, Lizzie. They're physics, exactly. Okay, here. Let's go ahead and hop in game and see if we can at least double check to see if the brightness of the interiors match. So one thing that's good is that in the bug fixing patch, quote unquote, one of the biggest like performance drains I would say is speed trees. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to get rid of speed trees for different reasons, but I can show you guys the new trees, which I've kind of edited to be pretty similar in size and scale to speed trees, and they're happy little trees, which are way more performant. So a lot of you who are having kind of some performance issues in treed areas will get a big boost from that, most likely. Oh, well, the crafting workbenches for clothing. I mean, you can craft anything from either your player crafting. So here's the way that the crafting menu works. Very annoyingly, there is like the CCOR like crafting filters that were left in by accident. So ignore those. They're cool, but they're not really supposed to be there. But the way that your crafting system works in general is that your crafting button, your menu, is kind of your bread and butter for figuring out how to craft just about anything you can craft. So if you can craft something like clothing, I'm pretty sure you can craft in the player crafting menu. It'll show you everything that you need, and it'll show you any stations that you might need. So if ever you're curious about what the requirements you need for any crafted item, you can find them in there. Here. Pause my sick music and crank this up. Get our beautiful Skyrim audio, and this should work. This was like a testing save that I was doing. So the only trees that we still had in from speed trees were the pine trees, right? And you can tell me, I think that we've really approximated the feel of the speed trees anyway. I'll show you right now, and then we can go test out some stuff. Let's go to Valkyrie exterior. Actually, no, let's do this. Dead. Oh, there's no audio. That's because I have it turned off. Drink.
Come on in.
Well, so here's a anniversary edition. Technically, is SSE, right? Smokeless Joe. You do not need the DLC add-on for SSE. That is anniversary edition. Yes, that's a good point. It'll actually downgrade you manually. FPS occlusion plane mod. So here's what the interior looks like. Is this overly bright? It looks normal to me. Is that Delacourt? Is that his name? It is. What's up,
Yes.
brah? Whoa, Jesus. I need to fix that. This is getting a big overhaul too. The what's it called? The dialogue camera. Who was saying that they had overly bright interiors? Was that Olivier? So you can check this out. See how that compares to you. Yeah, no problem. So you don't need the, what's it called? The anniversary. God, I can never remember the name of it. I think it's darker than mine. Solitude Winking Skeever is very noticeable. We can go there too. Solitude Winking Skeever. I'm gonna sneeze.
Welcome to Skeever.
Oh my gosh. Here's the Winking Skeever. Is it bright? My issue is a lot of places are too dark, even with candlelight active. The range of the light doesn't go super far. That could be.
It's not safe these days.
Doesn't help that
Lots of
the...
travelers just disappear south of Dragonbridge. Can't find a trace of them.
Yeah, I could do that, Wolf Bear Claw. In fact, really, there'd be no harm in doing it. It'd be pretty easy to do, so I'll see if I can do that.
Those troubles don't cross my doorway.
As well.
So sit, relax.
How's this? Does this look brighter? Less bright? Yo, thank you for the sub, Gax Spackle. 10 months. Really? I guess it could be like monitor variants, but they should be the same for all of us. Yeah, this is how it is for mine. I mean, it might be a little bit darker during the night. Let's see. Set game hour to 0. Not really. I mean, the lights are about the same. Well, unfortunately, there's not a lot of way for us to control if it's variance due to... What's up, everyone? Excuse me. If it's variance due to monitors, that's something that will have to be, you know, locally adjusted.
Come on in.
Here we are.
Warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Shut up, Corpulus. He annoys me. Yeah. That would explain it, Lizzie. Anyway, let's go back to Falkreath. You can see the new trees. Have a pop-up texture like F11 that has those brightness adjustment boxes. That is an idea. That's pretty cool. I like that. Let's see here. Just like add like a little note or like a calibration thing being like, here's your brightness. That would be interesting. That's not a bad idea. Okay, let's go to Falkreath exterior this time. Excuse me. Hello, Path Wanderer. Yo, thank you for 2 months. Much appreciated. So here's your trees. I think they're pretty comparable to speed trees in terms of appearance, especially when scaled up like this. I think probably if I didn't say anything, I think a lot of users like wouldn't even notice. But the difference in performance, I think you will definitely notice. And the main reason that I wanted to do this is just because some people actually prefer these trees, I think, to speed trees. I just love speed trees, but, you know, it is what it is. Yo, brought to you by Q. Thank you for 10 months. How you doing, Simonator? Glad you could catch it. But, the speed trees archive is just a huge pain in the butt to consistently download, right? It's, got issues with Mega's downloading servers. Yeah, well, so Happy Little Trees is what we already use for every other kind of tree in the game. It's really excellent work, just like straight up. The LODs have not been updated, so the LODs that you'll see are still the old Speed Trees variants. Like that one up there. Ooh. Sure, thanks for hanging out, Olivier. How's the Wildlander footprint? It's pretty hefty as of right now. Oh, look at that Bob Ross emote. That's great. Yes. They are really, really incredible tree models. In fact, my favorite thing about them is the snowy trees here. Nightgate Inn. This is the best place to see them, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to get that down. It'll be probably a little bit less in the hotfix version because the other thing we're getting rid of is, what's it called? Skyrim Realistic Overhaul. Because that's the other, those are the two archives that are giving us real download trouble. Oh shit, I want to play the new Pokemon a lot. So these trees, I think, look amazing. Uh-oh. Saber Cat v Horker. In fact, actually, let me turn on God mode just to be sure. Yeah, that's actually what I got, Tor. Saber Cat wins. That's actually not a guaranteed win if it gets caught too many times by the Horker's tusks. Horker in a tux. Could you imagine a cuter thing? Yeah, I really like these a lot. I think that they're brilliant. Where else can you see? If we go to like Helgen exterior, we might actually be early enough to catch the actors. Sometimes they're still there. Maybe not. I was waiting around in the rift for a while. Fun fact with Skyrim Unbound. Yeah, they're gone. So if you like start a game and you teleport straight here, like immediately, you can actually catch some of the Helgen actors going from Helgen to like where they're supposed to be, which is kind of cute. I've done that by accident a couple different times. So there's some trees over here that I can do. Yes, I will show off all the bug fixes in a second, Cisco. I can talk about them too. Hello, Great Padinsky, how you doing? So the main thing, and this is what I'm most excited about for the bug fix patch, is that I really, like, obviously the highest priority thing for us are crashes. Crashes? And there's a couple crashes that I know have been causing people issues that we've definitively fixed. The biggest one is crashes on save. Some people have been experiencing a crash on save issue. We know why it's happening now. Actually, a shout out to the user GPick on the Discord who inadvertently solved this or found out the solution with the help of Wanking Skeever. If some of you, like, look at that shit. This is amazing to me, personally. Hey, Kandu, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Geez, Wolf, that is unfortunate. I'm sorry. I'm working to get that download or the footprint smaller. Yeah, okay, Cisco. So there's a fix for that. Basically, you will want to grab this mod. Where is it at? Cloaks and Capes. You want... Yeah. This one. So Wanking Skeever actually made this after a user on the Discord GPick reported this issue. Basically, the way that this works is that... Well, here's the issue. You know how we have cold region behavior adding what's up, y'all? Adding various, you know, cloaks and gloves and face masks to NPCs when it's cold, right? Apparently, when an NPC who's had those items scripted onto them dies, for some reason, the engine, when it's attempting to transfer those items into, like, the coffin that some NPCs get, right? It just creates like an errored reference. It actually is just straight up broken. And then when you try to save, when that container contains that broken reference, it'll just crash the game. So the way that the fix works is that it force unequips all of the items from the NPC before those items are transferred into the coffin or the burial urn or whatever their, you know, items are going into. And that seems to fix the issue. We don't know why the engine does that. It's not something I think that anyone really anticipated, and I really can't explain to you what's going on in the back end, but the important thing is that the solution works. What's up, Brett? Did you do this? God damn. Not bad.
The Legion's always looking for strong, capable warriors. If you think you've got what it takes, our headquarters is in Solitude.
I don't think I have what it takes. How you doing, Nomad? Dawnstar's a guy in no clothes, huh? That's a different issue, potentially, oh my, if you could report that for us. Can I post the link to the mod? Yes. Here, let me grab it. I'm allowed to post links in my own chat, right? Boom, baby. So, you want to grab that. The unfortunate thing is that if you have a save where this issue has already occurred, you kind of have to track down the NPC that is causing the issue on your save. Have I fixed the Markarth lights? This is not something I have heard of thus far. It could be existent in a ticket. I just haven't gotten to it. Markarth lights. Yeah, of course. Oh, really? Is it? Oh, hello. What's up, bud? Oh, gotcha. Well, that's an easy fix. Frankly, those EMB... Ow! Yeah, you're very scary. Hey.
I'm getting out of here.
Oh, yeah? Wow, nice little dodge weave. Hey. Come back here. I want a fireball because it's fun. 1C789. Thank you. Check this out. Wolf. Boom! I missed that one. Not very good at destruction. I'm sure leveling up fast though, aren't I? Get him? Don't mess with me. I'm gonna get you. Kamikaze. What's it called? Fireball. Yes. What do you mean specifically knocks in? Yes, if you just throw that mod into the setup, it should fix itself. Does adding this crash fix ourselves? Well, I would say that adding that fix alone should not, you know, void your support warranty. I'll defer to Lizzie on that one, but given that that's like... Stop. Oh, I contracted fever, eh? Who are you? Hello. Hey, thanks. You too, huh? Fireball's sick, right? I'm a big fan, personally. Taking cover behind this? Oh, I guess you guys are. You're not gonna know how to walk through that, brother. No. Come on. Hello. There he goes. Eventually they'll make their way through it. I swear, this is something I actually don't know how it works. This is not something I've ever had to dabble with myself. But making objects like automatically nav cut to where when you place them, they understand that there's the nav.
Where the head is. That is what Dervenin told us about our master. He's cozy in his south. The master has gone, but Dervenin will find him. Dervenin should not have gone.
Oh, okay. Of course. Why are you following me? Or are you? No, that was just coincidence. She's doing her own thing. Is there any need to run... Oh, no, you don't have to do any of that stuff, Noxon. You just install, play. Exterior FPS boost. Ooh. Thank you, Communist Doggo. Yeah, she's an interesting one. Am I about to commit murder? I mean, I'm going to close the game soon anyway. But here, let's look at... See what we can kind of like show off. So here's our... What's it called? Our hotfix issues. So you can see there's still quite a lot. This is why I'm going to be doing this all next week. You go down to... I think I counted them. And now we're getting down to medium priority. So those ones aren't as important. But you can see there's quite a few. Hey, Leap Day. How you doing? Yeah, me too. Oh my. That's actually something that I've wanted to have for forever. But I really don't know what to do about it, to be honest with you. So these are all the bugs. Here's the ones. I mean, testing are very likely done. We just need to confirm it. Done. Let's see, 19. So testing, if you consider those together, whatever 67 plus 19 is. And then I think there's probably about like 115 remaining in the backlog. Excuse me. So you can see there's quite a lot to do. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you guys, Lizzie and I were talking about this before the stream. We have two options essentially when it comes to the hotfix. I could create a version that does not replace... So some of you might remember that like one of the big issues that we have is the companion's quest line not progressing the way that it says it will on the back end, right? Like in the MCM. It's still functional. It just, the requirements as shown in the MCM are not the requirements actually in the game for whatever reason. The issue here is that, so I've already fixed that. The problem is that to really fix it, we're just getting rid of ESF companions, and that would very likely make the saves not safe, right? So it's really a question of, would you rather have more fixes in the hotfix, and it's actually like a minor version that you would want a new save for, and it would take a little bit longer, of course, or would you rather have a smaller version that doesn't fix like the companions and doesn't have some of the other fixes that we would be able to do if we do it in a big, larger patch? Theoretically, yes, Tor, but also potentially no, because there is... In fact, I shouldn't even say theoretically yes. The safer answer is that... Why don't we do a poll? Not like this is necessarily a representative sample for all of my statisticians out there, but, you know. Let's see. Oh, and then, of course, Connor just said it. Usually if I have a good idea, Connor's already had it. Usually if I've had a good idea, most of my team's already had it. Let's see. Question: would you prefer a larger fix? How do I phrase this? Oh, I can't even hear. Larger fix with... Here we go. Okay, 2 minutes. Start poll. Well, so it's not just the companions. If we don't have that restriction, there's a lot more stuff that we could fix. There's also some stuff that we can add that will probably not quite qualify as like a fix, but just little things that we know are plug and play that we know will improve the experience. Me personally, like if I'm gonna, how about this? I'm not gonna tell you guys what I think is my preferred option, because I don't want to characterize your opinions. Or maybe I should, and then you can save, and then you can vote accordingly. Yeah, okay, maybe that makes more sense. My rationale personally is that keeping the save requirement is restrictive compared to the improvements that we can make without keeping that requirement. I think that it's also one of those things where we're very, very likely not going to force updates on people. So let's say that we make a build that does not require, or is not save safe, but allows us to pump in all the additional fixes and yada, yada, yada. In theory, that version will be there waiting for you if you want to update and if you don't mind losing your save. Or if you'd rather just continue with the version that you have now and continue playing on the save that you already have, you could do that too and then just wait to update. Yeah, we're thinking about the best method of delivering these updates, Azeroth. That is not... Yeah, Cisco, see, I'm kind of the same way. When I do play, which is seldom, unfortunately, but hopefully more soon, so I can do the Let's Plays. I'm kind of like a permadeath boy. I like to have the high stakes of, if not permadeath, then like a limited number of lives, right? And so for me, oh my god, well that was, okay, pretty overwhelming, the results of that one. Larger fix, eh? Okay. Well, I suppose we can do that then. I mean, to be honest with you, and this is not, of course, like the definitive decision or anything, but that's where I am personally leaning, not leaving. Yeah, that part's annoying. That could be too, Azeroth. I think a lot of... I think Requiem players in general, which we've kind of, hopefully kind of converted a lot of people into Requiem players. I think the early game... Ideally, you have stuff like Hard Times, right, which does make the early game and the mid game a bit more engaging with its methodologies. In general, I think a lot of Requiem players find the early game to be like the most fun. Yeah, Not So Fast Mage's Guild is kind of its own beast in that regard. I'm probably going to be yeeting that. I'm either going to yeet it and replace it with something similar, or I'm just going to yeet it, or at the very least, I'm going to include some sort of feedback that tells you that things are not broken, because there's so many. I mean, to be fair, people are like, why is the Mages College not progressing? And there's really nothing in the game that tells you the quests have been delayed, right? Hello, skeletons. Go, mud crab. You're not really making a dent. Gotta be honest. I am, though. Oh, they're going after the other. These skeletons are merciless. Leave that mud crab alone. Did I save the mud crab? Oh, yeah, wolf. Look, it's wildlife versus necromancy. Who will win? Then it's wildlife versus wildlife. What's the most eating VRAM? I mean, probably just textures in general. Yeah, absolutely. Wolf, as in, Wolf, you mean mods that you have created? If so, go for it. Yeah, we're very likely going to do that, Nomad. Yeah, absolutely, Wolf. Go for it. There is no rule against recommending your own mods. I mean, really, it's like it's kind of different from like video self-promotion and stuff like that, which we also have a channel for that kind of thing. Fan creations, but with mods, it's like you know, if it fits the build or if it fits the experience, it fits the experience. Simple as, right? What did that mud crab do to you? Everything. Yeah, so anyway, these are the trees. Again, I think they are absolutely brilliant. If you want to see, like, specifically kind of the work that the author has done, just search Happy Little Trees, and you can see it's really incredible stuff. I've never seen... So what I went in and did is I took every instance of pine trees, and I made them much bigger so that it matched the scale of the... Dylan P. Berry. I should do that. So that it matched the scale of the speed trees, which is one of my favorite things about it. I would say probably not either of those 69 Drew, if I'm honest, because I can explain why. The mini-map, to me, is just... It's not really... I think it's cool on a technical level. I think it's just a marvel. It's so impressive. I believe that's... Is that expired, or is that... heckin'... What's the... other person's name who does all those crazy script mods? I can't remember. You guys might know. Or maybe it is expired. The mini-map is not really for me. It's kind of a bit beyond what I look for in a HUD. And I find that a lot of the time in games that have mini-maps, I end up... Like, I do this in Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Yeah, you don't play the game, you play the mini-map. You kind of just inadvertently... Your eyes are drawn in the mini-map because a lot of the time it's so... And there's also the question of, like, in Skyrim, I don't really know how necessary it is. It's more just kind of like a cool little HUD thing. But as someone who has spent hours and hours and hours and hours across my youth, like, customizing the HUD or the UI in games on my phone, I learned a lesson pretty early on. Well, probably not as early. I mean, I kind of just enjoy doing this kind of thing. Any y'all droid hackers out there, rooters... I'm shouting you out right now because this was me. I was definitely me and Tyler used to flash ROMs and stuff on our phones and get, what's it called? What do they call them? Oh my god. Gotcha. Any of that stuff. I found pretty quickly that I would often design these kinds of like HUDs and UIs that maybe looked cool, but they weren't exactly useful. It was like form over function, and I'm trying to design it in a way that is going to serve the function, but it never actually does. It would just leave like 90% of the features unused, and that's kind of how I feel about the mini-maps, right? So the paper map, like UI, I know a lot of people are really into that. I'm still undecided. I'm softening on it. I was not always keen at all, but I've seen some of the paper map. I've seen some of like the Nordic UI that looks pretty cool. My issue with the paper map is that a lot of the colors they use, I think, are... How do I put this? For just UI and UX design, there's certain things that I personally would like to adjust. Maybe if I could adjust them, I would consider doing something like that. But yeah, like Dear Diary, I think it's a great concept, and I think they've done a wonderful job with it. It's just like from a UI design, like readability, like color contrast, there's some weird stuff going on there. For me, I'm very picky when it comes to that kind of thing. What was the other suggestion? Oh, the XP mod. So this is another really interesting question. We talk about this sort of thing often on the streams. What do they call it? Static skill leveling, like the add-on for the experience mod. I think that, that's actually one of the fixed bug fixes, right? Is you can see the roads again on the map. You can see that here. That was actually a bug, so you can see the roads a bit better. The thing about the experience mods, again, there's something that I think is wonderful. I think it's such a cool addition. For those of you who don't know, what I'm talking about here is there's a mod called Experience that essentially kind of tries to remove some of the metagaming that you see with the vanilla experience system. And instead of having this, like, what is it? You level up 5 skills and then you gain an overall character level. I can't remember if it's 5 or 10 or whatever. To kind of adjust that system and make it a little bit less exploitable. What this mod does instead is it completely overhauls the vanilla experience system so that skills no longer affect your character leveling up. Instead, that experience is tied to things like discovering new hostile locations, accomplishing like quests or beating quests, whatever you want to call it. Just doing all different kinds of stuff that you would just kind of naturally do. That's the idea anyway. The issue, which I think is awesome, I think it's really cool, and then you just kind of assign which skills you want to level up, almost like the way that the Fallout games work, at least Fallout New Vegas and I think 3, and the old Fallout games as well. This is how Morrowind worked back in the day. It's a really cool system. The thing is, yes, it rewards you for exploring, finding books or reading books, questing, and combat. And while there are quests that we have, and there will be more in the future that are not combat related, things like life skill quests, trade quests, missives quests, that you would technically get experience for, my issue with that framework for the purpose of Wildlander specifically is that Wildlander at the end of the day is kind of this like fantasy life sim. One of the core tenets of the tenants are people who rent. One of the core tenets of the experience is that it's a lot closer to something like RuneScape or Project Zomboid or Kenshi, where it's a very important element of the experience that you level up your skills by using them. Thank you for the sub, Time and Space. I very much want a system whereby the stuff that you do is the stuff you improve in. And for example, this is why we have, systems like Train and Study, right? Because I want there to be a way for you to say level your one-handed skill by using one-handed, but I don't necessarily want you to need to go out and only be able to strike at enemies to do it. You can also study one-handed. You can also practice your one-handed for a period of time. And in that case, instead of going into mortal danger, you're exchanging survival resources for the purpose of training, right? So maybe you got a room at the inn and you're just hanging around in town practicing your sword skills, because that's part of the life sim, right? Let's just for a moment imagine like all of us were existent in this world. It's pretty unlikely, unless we're very stupid and we don't really want to survive, it's pretty unlikely that we, as a very novice sword fighter who can barely pick up a sword, much less know what to do with it, would go wandering out into the wilderness where it is very, very dangerous. The wilderness in Skyrim is a place where lots of people just don't go ever. They just live in cities, much like, we have a pretty safe society, more or less, but it's dangerous to just go out into the wilds and practice your sword skills that way. And so it's important to me that not only can you level up your skills by using the skills themselves, but also that you have ways to do that that make sense, like for the world. Switch the way things leveled up was tweaked a bit. It seems like once you get extremely powerful, destruction can annihilate things in a second. You have to use lower. Well, so in terms of how you learn experience within those individual skills, that's something that you can always kind of mess with. But I illustrate all of this to show that something where you no longer like level up skills by using them is probably not something I will go for. How you doing, Shots? But people get lost in the woods all the time. Oh yeah, you still can. The idea being that, you know, you don't have to in order to level up your sword skill or etc. And then of course the other thing that I want to avoid is right, so the experience mod is specifically like what I'm talking about here. I'm sure that it works. It's just not really my kind of thing. I think that I would rather plug the, and you know, never say never, I suppose, but I don't really, I doubt that I'm going to be adding something like that. Oh yeah, CP. Well, there should be some people adventuring anyway, but there are mods that I have on my list that are specifically filled with adventurers who are like going around to different, you know, places. Yeah, well, one of the big things, and this is something I've said a million times, one of the biggest kind of holes that needs patching as far as experience goes. So here's an issue with the current leveling system. Because perks are tied to just leveling any skills whatsoever, it incentivizes, it actually makes some degree of sense because like what's the word, like realistic sense, because the perks generally still have skill requirements. So let's say for the sake of conversation that I do what a lot of metagamers do, where yo Monica, thank you for 1,000 bits, my god, thank you. Put my sunglasses on. Do I have some? I don't have sunglasses, but I do have my sick editor glasses. Check it out. Ow. Just poked myself in the eye. Do I look like Bono now? Look on Bono. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the current system, it's like you can in theory do a bunch of smithing, level up your smithing skills, and use that to level up, get a perk, and then invest that in one-handed, right? That's a little weird, but what makes it actually make some degree of sense is that the perk requirements, the skill requirements for perks, I should say, those still exist. So it's not as if, you know, I can just grind out smithing like crazy and then just get a bajillion perks in one-handed. I still need to have the one-handed skill requisite experience in order to be able to use those perk points even if I have them. So that's where it kind of makes sense. The difficulty there is that, I don't know, it does incentivize kind of this weird metagaming instance. So I have a couple potential solutions for that. One of the big ones that I've always gone back to is just making perk points like skill tree specific, so that if, say, I level smithing in this example, I get smithing perk points to then use for the smithing tree, but I can't use those perk points for other trees. The unrealistic element of that approach is that you could kind of make the argument, like, learning is kind of a complex thing, and for this reason, I mean, if you just endlessly chase quote-unquote realism, you know, you're always going to have some games are an abstraction fundamentally, so this is always going to be an issue. But the unrealistic part of this would be that sometimes when we're learning one skill, it kind of gives us insight horizontally into something else that we're studying. Anytime that you've ever had you're reading a book or something, and the book is about, let's say, sword fighting. I mean, this is completely a bullshit scenario, but something about sword fighting, and then there's some sort of point in the sword fighting about the nature of, like, I don't know, like how you think about training, like the methods by which you try to teach yourself new skills, not just sword fighting, but like anything. You could then apply that to like something else that you've been trying to do, like cooking, or even just like how you structure your day, or like habits or whatever. You guys know what I mean. Like, learning is kind of cross-disciplinary, so you lose out on that somewhat, and that's actually something I like about the vanilla system, is it in theory does kind of simulate how sometimes when we're working on one area of our life, we end up having inspiration for improving another area as well. So that's pretty cool. It's just the whole metagame element that can be an issue. What I really would not prefer is if, and this is kind of where the experience mod comes into play, as I go over the experience mod and the static skill leveling, I guess I should say specifically, I kind of want to avoid this scenario whereby I do level up in, let's say I level up, doing exclusively trade skills and trade quests, missives quests. Let's say I'm a delivery boy and I level up by exploring and finding new places, and I do a lot of deliveries and I get my experience and I level up, and that allows me to then increase skills of my choice. In theory, with that system, I could end up with, let's say, 50 points in one-handed, having never lifted a sword, having never picked one up ever, never even swung one. That is obviously kind of an unlikely scenario, since in Skyrim, a lot of what you do might do that. But you guys kind of get what I'm going for. That's the kind of scenario that I would really like to avoid if possible. That's the kind of thing that breaks my own personal immersion. It's or just using a different example. Let's say that, I am let's invert it. Let's say that I'm a fucking mercenary. I go around the world looking for people and things to kill, and I take jobs that are all about killing people and things. And I'm just a sick-ass sword fighter combat guy. And through my sick combat experience, I level up, tons and tons of times. And every time I level up, I increase my... Stop. I'm missing. I got you. Take that, fireball. Where are you? Oh, she's got magic resistance. She does. She's a mage. Also my destruction ass. Here's an example. Blue. Which one's the mage? Oh, there's some skeleton. She dead? Nope. Oh, she's healing. That's why. She's running there. My god. Gotcha. What was I saying? Let's say that I'm a sick mage and I'm a mercenary and I go around killing people exactly like we just did. I could make all my experience in killing things, and then just every time I level up, I put all my points into crafting, right? That makes no sense to me. Let's say I put all my points into crafting. Now I've got level 50 crafting. I haven't even made anything. You know what I mean? Or speech. Speech is another good example. I make it so I put all my points into speech. I've never said shit. I never talked to anyone. That's the kind of thing that I personally like to avoid. I kind of like there are obviously downsides to this level up skills by using the skills approach. It can, if you're not careful in how you structure the system, incentivize grinding. This is where you get, a lot of games like RuneScape and, thanks for hanging out, Shots. RuneScape and Kenshi and whatever. But the beauty of it, so here's the thing about something like RuneScape, and this is why people don't like RuneScape. It's not a type of game for everybody. That's a multiplayer game where you can't, how about this? In a single player game like Kenshi or The Sims, the advantage is that it's offline, it's single player, and that means very specifically, precisely, that you can speed up time to do these things. That's the crux to this system, to making it work, in my mind. In The Sims, arguably, you have to grind out a lot of skills in order to improve at them. In Kenshi, in Project Zomboid, arguably, you have to grind out a lot of skills in order to get better at them. The catch with all of these games is that they are single-player offline games, generally, where you can speed up time. So you get this really, at least in my opinion, very immersive experience where, yeah, like my character is learning how to be a better chef, we'll say, because she's studying recipe books and she's practicing her cooking on the stove and she's doing the thing that we are leveling up. She's learning, she's doing it. And it doesn't take, you know, and this is the RuneScape point. RuneScape's still a beautifully fun game, but the grinding all has to be real time. And for a lot of people, that's a big turnoff. And you can understand why it can get very boring just doing the same thing over and over and over. But if you have a way to abstract the time advancement or the time investment, sky's the limit, baby. You can do whatever you want. I can have, you know, my character, like, there doesn't need to be any downtime. I can be like, yeah, study cooking for 6 hours, and then bing bang boo, 6 hours has passed, my character's gotten however much experience they were going to get from that, and there's this beautiful sense of immersion and contiguity, and at least in my opinion, you know, it's pretty cool. Oh, Yorland is okay, well, I've been in game long enough here. Yorland was supposed to be gated behind joining the circle. I thought that's how it was in Hone Metal. Turns out that he's gated behind joining, which anyone can do. So I changed the requirement on the back end to be the circle again. Oh, thank you very much, Shots. Much appreciated. What is your take on limiting trainers to 5 times per level instead of limiting how much you can afford? I mean, if I'm honest, I think that the 5 times per level thing is kind of silly and arbitrary. I think it only exists because of what's it called? Now, the idea of just paying for straight. Here's the big problem with training. The 5 times limit, it only exists arbitrarily because of the skill system, the way that they design the characters leveling up. So it's completely arbitrary. The big issue with skill training is that I got news for you. If you go down to your local CrossFit gym, let's not even go CrossFit. Let's say Muay Thai. You're going to go down to your Muay Thai gym and you pay the instructor $1,000 to improve your skill. It's not instantaneous the way that it is in Skyrim, right? That's, again, you need to have time elapse and you need to have some sort of resource expenditure. You're going to pause. It's going to take you a while to get your $1,000 worth of training from that trainer. Naturally, you're not going to learn it in a moment, right? And so, like, let's say it takes you, I don't know, a week. You're going to go back to the gym multiple times. You're going to stay there all day long. You're going to be training with the trainer. You guys are going to have lunch. Maybe you're going to have dinner. You're going to need to purchase lunch. You're going to need to eat it. You're going to need to not die from starvation. You guys see kind of what the idea is here. This is where the immersion and the role play comes into play. What if this is what you did? Tell me this isn't like a fucking role-playing origin story. You're a young whippersnapper who's lived within the safety of the city walls your whole life. Imagine you're fucking Eric from Rorikstead, Eric the Slayer. And Muay Thai is dope as shit. You've been dying to get out of your small town your whole life. You're basically Brandon Flowers from The Killers, right? But in Skyrim. And you don't have the skill to go venture out into the world, you know this, but there's a person who lives in your town who happens to be a fucking sword fighter. So you pay him some money, or maybe you do him some favors and he offers to train you for free or for a discount or whatever it is. And this is something we can do, right? Let's say trainers they'll give you a discount based on the fact that you are friends with them, and we add more ways to make friends with people. They'll teach you how to do it over time. You spend time, every day going to the trainer, and you guys are you're having your fucking shonen anime protagonist montage. And, months later or weeks later or whatever you want it to be, you're ready to go out into the world, and then you get to go and actually have some sword skill before you try to fight something. That, to me, that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's just way more realistic. It's sensible, and having all of these sensible things, for lack of a better term, is what, to me, starts to really nail this feeling that hopefully you guys have kind of gotten already, or at least started to get, where it's just the world works the way you would expect a world to make. Well, sort of, Tor. It depends on which parts you're talking about. I have never found a mod. I can't really, like... Hold on a second. It's super hot. I'm going to turn on my house's air conditioning because I'm burning up. I'm taking off my pants, y'all. I'm going to have to switch to the hot tubs or stripping category on Twitch. Anime montage mod, urgent priority ticket. I recall any mod that I've found that specifically passes time when training. I wouldn't be surprised if there is one out there that's like that. I'm taking these off, by the way, because I don't need them right now. I do need to go to the eye doctor, though, because my vision's getting weird. Yes, I agree with you, Lucky Lorenz. And this is basically... That's why I want to kind of keep that bit, but, you know, make it more sensible in other ways. Like, the whole kind of, like, perk system... The best thing you could say about the Skyrim perk system is that it approximates how people learn cross-disciplinarily. What I would like to do, like, I don't mind that. I don't, like, you know, the perk system. It's just, it's too much of a huge pain in the ass to completely restructure, so it's fine. And I agree that I love the way that using skills advances the skills. What I would like to do is decouple, like, your attributes here. I would like to turn, like, magicka and health and stamina basically into skills, like, unto themselves, which there are mods to do this, right? Like, oh, the more I lose my health, or the more I do stuff with health, the better my health gets. The more I use my stamina, the better my stamina gets. The more I use my magicka, the better my magicka gets. That's kind of how I don't like that stuff is tied to levels, all that kind of thing. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway. Oh, here, I wanted to see what Muri? How do you guys pronounce this? Is this not like the most difficult? Muri? Does she have weird hair right now? Oh, she does. This one's interesting because I don't think that's a missing texture. I think that's like an improper normal map. Maybe she's just like a... Wow, it's very shiny. Or this could be a missing texture with like a weird normal map applied. Hello.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you look a little sickly.
Oh, that's right. I have a disease.
I'd
Yeah, well,
better get
your
going.
hair looks like a purple line cat, so... Assuming you need 10... Usually pumpkin cake, it's because I've missed it. That would be why. No, her hair is not supposed to be purple. There she goes. Assuming you level 20 times, get one swing for one free. You could pumpkin cake. To be honest with you guys, I would rather just do away with character levels entirely, almost like these. Because what's the purpose of the reason? I'll tell you at least my theory as to why that exists at all. The reason that character levels exist in, I guess, all the Elder Scrolls games. Morrowind did less scaling, but I think it still does some. The reason that the levels exist is because these games are scaled to you, right? They're leveled. Requiem isn't leveled. Requiem is de-leveled. All of the monsters, they have their levels. What your level is does not matter for that. So if that's the case, fuck this. You know what I mean? I mean, not like there's anything wrong with it. I just mean fuck it in the sense that, like, we don't need it. Or if we want to do something different, we're not tied to it. You know what I mean? It's like one of the big freedom bits. Character levels, they gate content? Yes, in some cases they are used as a method of gating content. That is correct, Raven. But we could just do something different if we wanted to keep the gate. I mean, really, they're just approximations of character strength. And even then, like, level gating certain content, like how the dragons are currently level gated, right? It works. Uh-oh, that's a Spriggan. There it is. Ooh. Level gating doesn't really work that well in Requiem because there's a huge amount of variance in strength depending on your build. You know, like a level 25 two-hander heavy armor is very different from a level 25 like mage who's kind of spread their skills across multiple skill trees, is very different from a fucking stealth archer who wears light armor and invested a lot in like pickpocketing. this is where it doesn't really serve that well. Even like, you know, I can beat you. I got fireballs. You're a natural enemy, my friend. Gotcha. Yeah, so a lot of people are not going to be ready at level 25 to face dragons. There are builds that can fight dragons at level 25, but they're pretty specific. They're highly specific. They don't, you know, fireball up, right? Can you guys still hear me? Gotcha. I win. I feel like I cheated for some reason. Oh, this is a cool area. Oh, brother, what you doing over here? Oh, just floating away. Yeah, it's very loud. It's like, what? My ears are bleeding. So you guys basically get the idea. Might get the skill and your skills high enough for the perks and skip the level. Yeah, I've thought about that. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and one of the things that I kind of have to do is it's very interesting when you're modding. One of the, I would say the detriment to modding is that you're working with pre-existing systems, and also like when I'm designing an experience that's not just going to be played by me but will be played by you guys as well. One of the things you're always kind of needing to keep in mind is what people are kind of already used to, right? A good example of this would be, what is it, like key bindings. Like everyone's super mad at me because I put crouch on C instead of control, which I'm probably going to change back because everyone's already used to it being on control, and we're working with a pre-existing set of experiences and expectations. The advantage of doing something like modding is that oftentimes other people will have made really incredible solutions to systems, so that even if it's not exactly what you're looking for, it usually provides a much more stable and advanced base for you to work off of, so it kind of saves you time in that regard, right? It's true, but it's one of those things. At the very least, okay, how about this? I'm not sure if I will swap the controls back, but I'll take quick restore off of control so that people who are used to using control as crouch stop accidentally using all their potions whenever they're trying to crouch, because that just seems a little bit cruel. Oh. Who's that? Sound like a child. Who dis? Anyway, that's kind of like... Ooh, hello, mud crab. It's a little foggy today. Let's clear it up. Hello. Is that your warning? They're so cute in their own way, aren't they? Look at them go. There he is. And they do really just blend right in. Creepy. Yeah, but see, Communist Doggo, that's the kind of thing where that sounds nice, but the amount of dev work that it requires for us to add that feature when there's so many things that probably should take precedent that need to be fixed or added before then. And like that's pretty complex to do. Like not only with the launcher, you're talking about an integration with the launcher, and also like behind the scenes with the mods themselves. It just makes it very complicated. It's kind of like when people are like, oh, like just add multiplayer, and you're like, oh yeah, like here, I'm a bit of a coder. Let me just, it's like, bool is multiplayer enabled equals true. You know what I mean? It seems like it might be simple, but I promise you it's not quite as simple. Some things are simple. That particularly would not be. Anything kind of having to manage multiple HUDs. Although one of the things I would like to do, and I'm not sure if it's possible, but I think it would be possible with our current launcher technology, is eventually maybe have more modular options for like optional things from within the launcher. It really just depends on how granularly we can get it to edit the configuration files, but I think we can do it. So suffice to say, it's a maybe, but there's things that I would work on beforehand. Who's this over here? Yeah, exactly. And so like imagine, yeah, time and space. So getting ultra wide support is something that's a big priority for me. Here, I'll go ahead and quit. Oh my god, it's already 120. Okay, so that's the other thing. I actually have, thank God, knock on wood, very lucky. Well, I have some freelance work that I have to do today, so I will have to be signing off before 3. I'm probably going to try and sign off maybe 2, especially since I'm going to be streaming a lot more next week, and I'll be making like a news post to give you guys like my schedule so you won't have to kind of guess at it. But I'll be streaming a lot more, so I don't feel quite as bad about leaving the stream a little bit earlier, but I do have some work that I have to finish. Anyway, ultra-wide is like a big priority, right, for this fix, because we've gotten a lot of ultra-wide players who are just pleading with us to add ultra-wide support, which I understand. It would be very strange to have an ultra-wide monitor not be able to do ultra-wide resolutions. Using that as an example for like the HUD stuff, the way that we plan on implementing it, the best we can do right now, if we try to add like, we add optional ultra-wide support, and then we also have to add all the permutations of ultra-wide support for like 4 different UI themes, that would be quite, it turns it from a let's say 2-hour task into an 8-hour task, or maybe 6. Are you planning on giving chests a buff? What kind of chests are we talking about here? Do chests need a buff? Oh yeah, chests of, if you're talking about the user created chests, like boss chests. We could. A master level dungeon chest should not have 50G and 2 potions though. You guys want to see? All right, you guys want to solve some let's solve some tickets together. Let's here's some previews as to what the other streams will be like. Let's get some music. Is it too annoying? Can we put on Gusty Garden Galaxy? Because it's brilliant. It's beautiful. Loud enough for you? Lower this down to... How about there? How's that? How's the volume levels? You still hear me? Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Huh. Well, for every resolution, do you have to set up the HUD? Yes, that is correct, time and space. But then this is also one of the quote-unquote advantages and disadvantages of modding versus building something from scratch. So the HUD in Wildlander is consisted of multiple mods, right? Like the 2 hand things are eye equip, the center bars are sky HUD, the clock and the compass are a matter of time, the notifications message is alternate conversation camera. So for each small, the bottom right, the temperature is frostfall, the active effects are sky UI, the readout of carry weight and gold is more HUD. That's what, 8 different mods that I just mentioned right here that all need to be adjusted depending on the resolution and aspect ratio. So this is one of the things I've tried to explain to people when they say it's like, just offer ultra-wide support. It's really not as simple as like ultra-wide equals true. You know what I mean? Like it's not that anyone's saying it's that simple, but you know, that's more of like a humorous way of illustrating the complexity of the problem. If there were a more unified solution, that would be great, but that's just not kind of what we have with the mod pack. So we work with what we got. With that said, we do have some pretty ingenious solutions that I think will help a lot. Well, yeah, maybe some of them. The ones who are insisting that it's that simple, I mean, sometimes people just don't know what they don't know. The tricky bit is sometimes, even when you politely and kindly explain to people how it works, and they still kind of jump down your throat, it's like, well... If 20 variables equals true, ultra-wide true. Yes, exactly. Okay. This one's going to be easy. Companion's Quest, Hired Muscle. Okay, so let's do this. Let's pop in. This music is so epic. It's like, yeah, we're going to adjust a leveled list. We're going to add a faction to an NPC. Tell me this doesn't just make it... This song makes me legitimately, like, tear up when I hear it. It's just so... I don't know. It's beautiful. Mario. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. First things first, let's take a look at the boss chests. For fun. Actually, you know what? Let's get a simple win first. Let's do this one. Companion's Quest, Hired Muscle, Brawl, Drevis in the Lauren, College Winterhold. So this one's easy. I know how to fix this because I've fixed this many a time. Say solution. Added. Well, here, before I do it, why don't I actually do it? And that way I won't get too confused. This will definitely happen. Night Eye is not fixed. Oh, actually, yes, it is fixed already. Yes. It will. I mean, it will be fixed no matter what. That's another very high priority fix. That's like up there with crashes. Revis. Here he is. So in order to prevent that from happening, we are going to add a faction. 0 is fine. I believe it's CR04 exclusion. I believe that's it. So that's Companions Radiant. We'll just drag that across to be safe. This is referenced by Hired Muscle. So, fun fact, if you add R04 exclusion faction, if you add an NPC to that faction, you will stop them from being targeted by Hired Muscle. Recharging services at a court wizard not working. That sounds much more difficult. Give depleted enchanted weapon, wait for service to be done, receive item finally, did not recharge at all. So this one's interesting because I have updated honed metal. We were using an older version, so this one might not be replicable. This is where shit gets complicated. Hello, hey, Dropped Ice Cream, how you doing? Y'all, in case you don't know, Dropped Ice Cream creates wonderful reviews of mod lists and mod packs on his channel, so please go and check that out. This is the first I was streaming. You mentioned a release date for the hotfix. We do not have a release date yet. What I basically said is that I'm going to stream a bunch next week, partially to push for partner, because it's like, while not. Oh, just Wildy. My gosh, I didn't see you, brother. Mobile at the moment. How long has the stream been going? It has been going. So everything I just said, except for the fact that not mod packs, but Just Wildy also has a YouTube channel where he does gameplay of Wildlander and all different kinds of other lists and stuff. So definitely go check that out. Yes, one of the most skilled Requiem players in the game. It's actually crazy. It's like, I mean, I guess this makes sense, but like, I swear I used to watch like the first generation of Requiem Let's Players and just like content creators, and I was always like so impressed by, like, that's how I learned to play, is a lot of those content creators, and then you have like Just Wildy and this generation of content creators who I imagine have learned all of that stuff and then continue to expand further. Anyway. Ron the Crow at level 2. That's nuts. That is wild. Absolutely nuts. Mad lads. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, release date for the hotfix. So I don't have a release date, but I will be streaming a bunch more to try and get partner at the same time as I just, you know, show off the dev work. Why not, right? Because I'm going to have to be doing a lot of dev work. And so once I have made my way further through this giant list of issues to fix, then I'll have a much higher or better idea of the potential release date. So this one's interesting. What might happen now, ideally we're going to hop in game and see if this, I mean, I guess ideally it wouldn't be there anymore because we updated, and that means we wouldn't have to fix anything. But sometimes that can be kind of misleading because you think that something's been fixed and it actually hasn't. You're just not able to replicate it with the conditions that you're trying. So we're going to go container. I'm just going to check on Requiems. Oh. No, not you. This one. I believe it'll be like a bandit boss chest, vendor chest. Excuse me, I'm burping. Does anyone have... Yeah. Use bandit chest boss. So you can kind of see what we're looking at here. It's not a leveled item, but some of these definitely are going to have chance none. Not the gold. Bandit chest potions. Oh, yeah, okay. So here's... Now, an issue with a lot of these is like bandit chest potions, soul gems... Bandit gems, 25, 25. Lockpick, even the lockpick's 25% chance? Yeah, scrolls. So, unfortunately... Oh, and this one's just straight up empty anyway. Prowler's Prophet. Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I'm looking at this, and these are not great. These are kind of ass in terms of what can appear in here. These are, you know what? This is worth making a ticket over. Because all these, like, let's say in theory you got everything from this chest, even that would not be, like, amazing. It would be pretty better than here, but what these mean, this little number, is you can see this global chance none means that this, anything that's in this list, it's going to pull one of these, and there is only a 15% chance that you'll actually get something, right? Which kind of sucks. That's like not a very high chance at all. That'll take some, well, yeah, because you need to feel accomplished if you just, I mean, kind of, I'm sure what Requiem is thinking as well is that the economy is rebalanced. Yo, thank you for the gifted sub, Potleafeon. Oh, thank you, Dropped Ice Cream, for the sub as well. The value of goods is much higher in general. Well, higher and lower, depends on the good we're talking about. But the economy balance is way different in Requiem, right? And so, and it's also in Wildlander. Obviously, we try very hard to give a lot of utility, just random utility to like most every item in the game. Every item should be useful for something, ideally. So when you're clearing out a dungeon, it's not like how it is in vanilla Skyrim, where kind of the only thing you're really looking for is the chest at the end. There's lots of valuable stuff all throughout the dungeon that makes it worth tackling. However, I think even just from a pure fucking, well, realism and a psychological satisfaction standpoint, it never feels good to fight your way through a bandit chest and kill a big bandit boss and get some ass reward for it, right? Like, at the very least, you want something unique or fun or, like, you know, and it's realistic in the sense that this is the chest where they've been putting their coolest, most valuable, most unique items, right? You will, I'm pretty sure that the burial urns still do have a chance to give you, like, I've gotten some good shit out of burial urns, which is almost worse because then I still check it, like, every single one, which kind of is annoying in its own right. But you know what, though? Matthew created such beautiful models for, have you guys seen the models for the big urns that are in Wildlander? Because they're ridiculous. They're, like, insane. Like, when I saw them, I was like, oh my god, it's beautiful. And we can, for those, we're like in dungeons, so you don't even have to worry about performance, generally speaking, unless it's one of the big areas. So you can take the nicest shit, put it in there. It's immersive. Okay, well, here's what, I won't do this right now, but I will, because this will investigate this. We'll create, I'll call this a feature, and I can add it to the hotfix because it won't be that hard to change. We'll say boss loot chest in need of a buff, more interesting loot. How about that? That might take a little bit, so I'm gonna we'll call it 3 story points. Have fun. My descriptions on Jira range from extremely detailed, like too verbose, to what you just saw there. Oh, I wish that I could use home to jump back to the top of this screen. One of the few. Jira has some usability things. On the whole, it's wonderful, but, you know. Oh, thank you for 2 months. Miscreant Gaming. No, that's awesome, Wolf. And hopefully, I mean, if they're all combat, then this wouldn't matter, but we're also working really hard to make bandits a bit less just like pure, I'm only ever going to kill you, right? So that would be cool to be able to talk with them. Wow, thank you for the gifted subs, Kevin. Wow, that's like several gifted subs over the course of the stream. Yeah, so kind of, if you guys do have feedback or you encounter issues, whatever, one of the best, like we listen to all that feedback. We look at everything. We really, one of the most powerful tools we have at our disposal for improving the experience is your guys' feedback. So please, you know, just use the channels that we have to get that to us, and I promise that we will consider it. Okay, let's do this one. Put that in progress. And we're going to save these plugins. We're going to exit out. That's a lot of lines. Yeah, exactly. Oh my. So then when you really, I mean, to a certain extent, this is something you just can't avoid. If you play enough of a game, you start to realize kind of how the mechanisms behind the scene are working. But it's really obvious when you go to get a bandit chest and it's kind of like the exact same assortment of things every time. You're like, okay, this now feels like a game. If anything, you want a boss chest. For me, probably what I'm going to do for that like feature redesign, I don't know if I'll put that in the hotfix. Maybe I'll move that back into, because like arguably there's more important things. It's still functioning. It's just not exactly satisfying. But the way that off the top of my head would design that is a lot of variance. I want it to be exciting when you open a chest. I want you to really not know what you're gonna get. I think that even if you get some stuff that is not the most pragmatic or useful or valuable, which of course is just sometimes going to be the case because not every bandit group is just, you know, swimming in valuable shit. At the very least, you should be excited to. It should be like a, what's it gonna be? I don't know. Instead of, I know exactly what's gonna be in here. Go back to our girl. Sure. I think well, as long as the chests are in the game, I think that's a good... Yeah, I mean, that is unironically true, Brave Rubber Duck. But also, I think that as long as the chests are in the game, psychologically, it should be fun to open them. Fun is, of course, realism and life sim and whatever are the ostensible goal, but the reason those are the goal is because those are fun, at least in my opinion. Fun is the ultimate goal. What are we playing games for, if not to have fun? Okay. Should we go to Farengar, everyone's favorite? Okay, well, let's take a look at this ticket. Just make sure we're replicating it well. Give depleted enchanted weapon. Wait for service to be done. Receive item. Okay, well, that's simple. We can do that. Let's get an enchanted weapon. What kind, shall we say? How about an elven sword of... Let's see what it gives me. Player.add item. Oh, let's pick a new song. I need to get like a playlist here. Can we go back to the one that I had before? Because I really just love this song. I just feel like it's so sick. Did I mention this earlier? That I found out the composer of this soundtrack is the same lady who did all the OG Castlevania games. And I was like, no fucking way. Or this is why it's so awesome. Very likely, Lucky Lorenz, that we're going to be swapping out Sunhelm for Last Seed. Sure, thank you, Wolf. Yes, I'm going to Dragon's Reach to discuss the ongoing hostilities. Oh, I didn't add it. You might be able to, Praxis, upgrade the E&B. I cannot say, so I would be very careful. And Lizzie might get mad at you if you do. To be fair, it's a modification. We can only guarantee that it works with what we've provided. Alright, here's my beautiful elven sword. And how about I fight a bear? No. Tank bear. Snow bear. Hello. Oh, actually, this is gonna hurt you a lot. Okay. Bear. 4 salve. Health. 12,000. Yeah, now it's... what's it called? Look at this bear. Whoa. Oh, no, I'm in God mode. It's not gonna drain. Ow. Okay. No knockdown, please. Let's be polite here. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Ow. You prick. That seems like you should not have been able to track me quite so much there. This is taking too long. Is there a command or a console command that I can use to drain my thing? Don't do it. There's something very hilarious to me about this. Oh yeah. I also don't like that shader effect. It looks kind of cool with the fuzziness of the bear, but it's weird. Stop. No. This is just very, really funny to me. Like this imagery with this music. Oh no. I've got a disease. No. I'm gonna get you. This is working, just slowly. I've been poisoned. Wait, oh, by the Spriggan? Prick? Vampirism is like, I would say well, so you can, ow. Honestly, I would wait, because vampirism is one of the big high priority, like, oh my god, like mechanical improvements. Honestly, this is 100% iconic. Oh yeah. Oh, gotcha, Lizzie. Well, that's not good. I wonder why it's just them. We'll have to take a look at it. That's good to know, though. I'm out of charges. Okay, thank God. Kill. Blah. You too. Leave me alone. I don't really need to, but I might as well. That's awesome. Pumpkin cake. Oh yeah, real names is beautiful. I bet you we can fix it. Inconsequential NPCs is just old, and it's probably not even its fault. It's just, it's often weird. Okay, so we're gonna go to Whiterun Dragon's Reach. If we can knock this out, or at least confirm it while I'm still on stream, that would be pretty cool. Yo, Purple LTV, thank you for the Prime sub. Did I miss anyone else? I don't think so. Hope not. Okay, so we made it. Actually, you know what? We're gonna make another one. Where's Farengar? Is it lunchtime? It is lunchtime. You guys are such pricks, I swear. Farengar, where are you? There he is. Yeah. Go back. Is he there? Come on. No, Farengar, what are you doing? I guess he's just hanging out over here. Whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna save. Hopefully you're doing the services. How do you enchant weapons and armor? Can you recharge my weapon? My blemished elven sword of ice. Excuse me. Going Brawl Farengar, that's awesome. Yeah, it's like, that's some cathartic shit. I respect Farengar that he's still willing to brawl. He is a Nord, after all. I'd like to pick up my order. Is my order ready? Nice. Packed Elven Sword of Ice. Wow. I may have made it too expensive to get your things recharged. I don't have enough gold. Yeah. That's pricey. Okay. Is my thing... Wow, and you're right, it's not recharged. Wow, I'd be fucking mad. What the shit? Well... Oh, is it? That might be why. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's fine. Well then. This is tough because I don't really... So what you kind of end up having... This is why... So you'll see tickets on here, right? Like, the one that I just did before this, how long did that take us? 10 minutes. Not even. 2 seconds. This one's going to take a while, potentially. So what I need to do first and foremost is, well, okay, there's a couple steps. So first, now we managed to replicate the problem. That's important. Next, we're going to go take a look at honed metal, and we're going to make sure that nothing we're doing is fucking with it in an obvious way. I gotta be honest, Purple LTV, when I saw on my screen, it says, what an unfortunate disaster it would be if someone would somehow rip my clothes off and ravage, and then that's where the line break was. I did not know what the next word you were gonna say was. How does Wildlander auto set up the MCMs? It is not a part of Wabbajack that can be, I mean, anything can be changed, Danny, but you're talking some complex shit. Wildlander auto sets up the MCMs through painstaking, sometimes recompiled scripts, sometimes through globals, sometimes through forced load, profile loads, which also qualifies as editing a script. So it's, I mean, thankfully, what's crazy is that just kind of as I finish that sort of thing up, you now kind of have much better solutions to MCMs. I know there's that one new MCM that like records all of your inputs. Yeah, MCM recorder. So that's crazy. I really should experiment with that. Does anyone know how reliable it is? And all like, does anyone have any personal experience with it? Because I am so curious. Also, I would need to make sure that I can like force that to happen, because of course the most important thing to me is the seamlessness, right? Like I don't want you to have to go into an MCM at all. I don't want players who don't know what the hell that stuff is to have to bother with it. So it's important that I can just kind of activate it if I were to use something like that. And then of course the real shit, oh really? Okay, I will check it out. I mean, I just really need to test it myself too, Danny. But if anyone has personal experience, I'd love to hear it. I know that she's like crazy. I've seen some of I can't remember what the mod author's name is. If any of you know it, then please feel free to shout it out in the chat, because she's like a fucking genius. But MCM Helper, which I believe Parapets created. Let me double check that. Helper. Parapets is a fucking wizard. Yep, Parapets. So MCM Helper is fantastic. Mrauper, gotcha. Oh, that's true, Lizzie. Well, if we can use only controls that... Oh, the key bindings. Yeah, well, we could only do the key bindings separately if we wanted to. It's an option. Well, I'll look into it, because it definitely would be preferable if we didn't have to use the methods that we do now. Like, I can show you that a lot of the script edits, I'll show you, like, the edits that I've done. It's in the source folder. So a lot of these are this type of stuff, right? Where we adjust settings and yada yada, force initialization and things of that nature. The upside of that is that once the work is done, it's very consistent, with the exception of like fist loading. Sometimes that can be a little bit weird, but everything else is very, very consistent. So if it's as consistent, it would certainly be better to not, like from a maintenance standpoint, to not have to do all these like script edits. And the issue with MCM Helper is that it works fantastically, but it's the same thing where you'd have to convert all of these existing MCMs into the MCM Helper format. And I'll be honest with you guys, like, MCMs are a low-key, like, very interesting part of modding, because every modder, like, there's a baseline kind of level of interaction that SkyUI's MCMs allow, like, in terms of building them out. But there's a lot of variation in how people build out their MCMs, and like every modder does it differently. Every single one is like its own unique little work of art at best, or gigantic issue at worst. No, we mean Purple LTV. What we mean is that some people whose keyboards don't match with like F11, like some of the keys like just straight up are not the same and don't trigger the same way. So if we were using MCM Recorder to try and match the keybinds, it might not work if I'm recording the key inputs on my US sick-ass Logitech gamer keyboard or whatever it is. Yeah, well, from what I understand, the Fallout 4 MCM it's persistent all the way through, which would be great, but we don't get nice things on Skyrim sometimes. We don't get the 4 light limit lifted, and we don't get the Havoc bug fixed, so we just make do. That's what we do. And I shouldn't complain because it's... Morrowind modders have it way worse in a lot of ways. Better in some ways, but way worse in others. Okay, I'm gonna check this out. Yeah, MCM Helper is fantastic. It's exactly what you'd want. You just have to rebuild the MCMs in MCM Helper's framework, and sometimes those MCMs are fucking complex, let me tell you. My Belle Delphine keyboard. Yeah, this is actually, I only use Belle Delphine Gamer Water to cool my entire PC. Hone metal. Okay, so let's go ahead and not overwrite. So this is just a quick check to see if we're overwriting anything. Dialogue. Oh, well, so we're overwriting. These are all dialogue, but this like should not recharge my weapon. Hone metal voiced. You guys are gonna have this song stuck in your head for like 10 years, by the way. Well, it's possible that that's doing it. So my first thing here is gonna be, I'm not really, dialogue can fuck with things, but shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, this is some good shit. Let's do, how about this? You guys want to hear one of my favorite Castlevania tracks? This one's from Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow. It's this particular rendition of Bloody Tears. This is a good one. No. Now I'll get this one stuck in your head. Oh, Mystic Quest is so good. You know, we actually bought Mystic Quest and played it on the channel back when I was still doing just like random Let's Play shit. I really enjoyed that the second level was called the Bone Dungeon. That was funny to me. Let's see here. Basic crafting too. I mean, this is all not stuff that should, none of this should break anything thus far. Famous last words. This one's weird. Yes, we still need that input. Okay, here we go. These are price modifications, but I just did this like somewhat recently, so this is not that recharge price. Okay, it's not that far off. I just adjusted these, so that should not be what's causing the issue. Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do then, I mean, I don't really, here's what we can do. I'm gonna close this. We're gonna do, we're gonna save our sick ass load order and mod order. And then, oh, I didn't even have this installed. How about that? I'll send you to separator system bug fixing. Alright, now we're gonna go honed metal. I'm going to just disable both of these. Hopefully it does not require me. Oh, I am. I'm missing a master. From whom? Honed metal voice. Okay, what is the master? Why? Why have you done this to me? Back in the X edit we go. I am aware, Danny. That one's actually already fixed. Nice and fixed. That one's an easy fix. That was just because the texture was being overwritten and I didn't catch it. That's my B. I apologize. I guess any bug that's in the thing is my B of sorts. Oh, Salmon Row, I think is already nerfed, but if it's not, then we have a ticket for it for sure. You want to check? Is that a Hunterborn? That's a Hunterborn ingredient, is it not? Maybe not. Is it? Is that Requiem? Or is that vanilla? It's also going to get stuck in your head for 10 years. No. Where is Salmon Row from? Am I sure it's not from Honeyland? It doesn't look to be. Well, we can do this. It's vanilla? Okay, well. That's interesting that Requiem wouldn't adjust it then. Requiem, y'all, if you don't know this, it's crazy how much Requiem changes the game, like, on the back end. This is why I always talk about how there's a lot of mods that attempt to do elements of what Requiem does, right? And a lot of people over the years have tried to, it's Hearthfire. Okay, that makes more sense. There's a lot of people over the years who have tried to kind of replicate what you might call a Requiem-like experience by taking these kinds of disparate mods and putting them together, which can still be super awesome. But there really is something special about Requiem because the scope of it is just nuts. And as mod packs are kind of a testament to, if you can ensure that everyone's, how do I put this? If you were able to make changes on that scale, like, of course they're going to feel just so much more contiguous and kind of uniform and like they're supposed to be together, if that makes sense. What am I doing? Hearthfire. Ingredient. Yeah, here it is. Oh, wow. Okay, so here's why. I will explain this to you. So this is ingredient value 250, and it does not have the no auto calc flag. So what that means is that not only is the base value like nuts, but when you don't have the no auto flag or no auto calc flag on, it'll look at these improvements and also factor that into the value of the potion. So it goes nuts. Oh, no. Ingredient value 250. This is the value 5. Okay, well, that's weird. Ingredient value 57. Effect data. What's the difference between this value and that value? That I actually don't know. I will have to look that up. Say creation kit. Ingredient. Say value. Base value for effect values are added. Ingredients value automatic based on the value effect. Unchecked ingredients value can be set. Okay. So I guess this value is what's used when this is. Oh wait. Okay. Well, fine. 5. Why not? Okay, let me make sure that I am up on the ticket as well. Search for it. That was a nice win before we sign off for the day. Salmon Row. Search row. Salmon Row, any water. Okay, save. Solution. Nerfed the value of Salmon Row by enabling auto. Oh wait, by disabling. There's so many flags that are like double negatives, right? Where it's like I need to enable the don't auto calculate it. It's like, alright, I wish I could just disable auto calculation, but no, that's not how it works. Auto calc and reducing the ingredient value to 5. That one can go into testing. Nice. And since that is, like you guys said, how experience is calculated, that should help plug that as well. We do not yet know Super Creamy. That is why I'm just nose to the grindstone on all this dev shit. I need honed metal and what? It was honed metal voiced, right? What is it this? What could possibly be? Port Masters. This is a script that we can use to check for. No. Sorry, you don't want to run on that plugin. You want Wildlander. Apply script. Port Masters. Honed metal voiced. What is causing that? Why is my nose so itchy today? this will tell you. I really need to make like a series of videos that are like modding tutorials. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think that they would hopefully do well. There's just so much to do, y'all. There's so many different things I want to do. We got the dev work, we got the wiki, we got website work, we got fucking videos to make. I got all kinds of videos to make. There's a lot of stuff. That is true, Nazul, but it doesn't take you 10,000 hours to make 10,000 potions. That's the trick there. It takes me like, in Skyrim, I'm just mashing the button. I can make 10,000 potions in like 3 hours. Alright, just this one, eh? Ugh, it's so annoying trying to grab these. A lot of the time I just type them out myself. Ah, okay. This is why. You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna bookmark this spot. And I'm just gonna remove this so that way. Save. Make sure if I go back. Alright, cool. And now we're gonna clean masters. And that is going to hopefully get rid of that. And then, well, I'm going to have to sign off now anyway. So if you're curious, what I was going to do after this to try and fix it is, now that I don't have a master for Wildlander, I'm going to remove those additions to Hone Metal, see if the bug... I really don't think these are going to be responsible, but this is the kind of stuff that you do first because you don't want to... The kind of... when you have an issue that you cannot fix by anything that seems obvious, and all the things that you've tried that don't take that much time, like what we're doing here, have not worked, that's when you get to do the very fun process of elimination game. And the way that works is that you basically remove everything except for the mod in question that's experiencing the issue. You see if that issue still persists. If it does, well, then you just figured out that it's the mod itself, right? And then you got to figure out what's going on there. But if it doesn't, then you get to do the very fun game of just adding back big chunks of mods until you can isolate the conflict that presumably one of the mods that you're adding back is causing the issue, and then you kind of just chop it down and narrow it down from there. It can be kind of fun. It's just something you want to avoid because it takes longer. Time when smithing was passing time like Hunterborn, yes, there's very, very high chance that that'll come back. In general, just time passing for lots of things. Anyway, that'll about do it for this stream, y'all. I will be making a news post either over the weekend or on Monday, just whenever I can find the time, that will let you guys know the additional stream times I'm going to be adding. Hashtag push for partner. Wouldn't it be so cool if I could just get that purple check mark on Twitch? I'm looking forward to it. And I'd love to see you guys there if you can make it. So I will let you guys know what the deal is with that. And I'll be working on the patch like all next week very heavily. So, feel free to drop by and say hello. And hopefully once I manage to crank through a lot more of those tickets, then we'll have kind of more of a sense of what the release on the thing will be. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. And I hope to see you next week. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for all the support. I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. I hope you continue to enjoy yourselves. And let's see who is online for us to raid. Raiding is fun. Who do we got? We got... Oh, shit. Oh, man. This is tricky because we got Tayson and we got Charmbarian and we got Rebel's Eyes. That is... Those are 3 people that we could raid. I need a random number generator between 1 and 3. We'll do 1 is Rebel's Eyes, 2 is Charmbarian, and 3 is Tayson. These are all big friends of the project. Let's do random number generator. I did not spell that right, but I think it'll know what I mean. Minimum 1, maximum 3. Drum roll, please. 3. It's Tayson. It's our boy Tayson. Round of applause. Okay, raid. Tayson Savarn. Boom. All right, y'all. Thank you again so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, just keep an eye out for the news post. I'll be posting it to the subreddit, Discord announcements, etc. And now that we have our beautiful launcher that updates whenever I tag something with a news tag, it'll show up there as well. So you might see it next time you go to play. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate the support. I really, really do, y'all. And I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.
I was just joking. Someone else